YouTubers, welcome back. It's Tyler here, and for you today, it's time to nurse this little baby right here with a bottle. Let's get to it, y'all. All right, well, before we do anything, we're gonna put this bottle on the scale. I had it completely filled a while back, so we're just gonna double check to make sure that it is completely full. Whoa, 27.2, and a full charge is what? It says 24, but it does have this guy in it right here, so we're gonna say that baby is slat full and primed for some spraying. All right, before I do anything, let me get on this foot protection, protect my marshmallows. I got these fresh gaiters from Walmart. That's what I'm talking about, safety first. These are fireproof, rainproof, dog-proof, whatever you want proof. All right, this is a brand new kit that I have never ran before. So the first thing we need to do, we need to flow the fuel solenoid to make sure we got around 6 PSI of pressure when it's open. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. All right, so what I have here is just a line that I can run from here to there. So that way you can flow the fuel, because this has to be unrestricted, and you have to run the jet that you're gonna run in that shot and flow it to the desired fuel pressure, which this is gonna be 6 PSI. That's where we're gonna tune everything to, is 6 PSI. So basically all I'm gonna do is put the jet right there, and then not dropping it, I'm gonna put it in there. Come on, buddy. There we go. And then we're going to screw it back in. And this is going to simulate going into your motor. Now I do have a jet on the other side right here, but it is completely wallered out. So it's not restricting the flow. I'm just going to put this guy in there. And we're going to turn it on. And we're going to watch the fuel pressure. All right, so we got fuel pressure. Now we're gonna watch this fuel pressure right here. I'm gonna hold this so it don't come out. And we're gonna make sure it stays right around 6 PSI. See that? Very little drop, very little fluctuation. There is gonna be a little bit of fluctuation at first, but it's gonna even out real quick. And we'll call that good. So as I put this on, actually, I have it pretty much put on. I want to go over the bypass style regulators, which I have. I have one on my carburetor, and I have one on the nitrous side. I had a deadhead on here, but it was just a pain in the butt because you would flip on the system, and the pressure would just, whoop, it would pretty much just peg out the PSI and the gauge, and you had to float to know exactly what PSI you were at when it was open. And you still need to do that with a bypass. But I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of people say bypass is for fuel injection, but I'm gonna have to disagree. It is just a way better system, in my opinion. It's less, draw on your pump. Fuel's gonna be circulating around. It's not gonna sit in your lines getting hot. The pressure is just rock solid constant. And whenever I went to a bypass system, all those problems just disappeared. So if you're debating whether to go bypass or not, I say just go bypass, because it is going to eliminate all those problems you have with a deadhead style regulator. All right, so the way your nitrous bottle is positioned in your car is actually very important. There's a dip tube that comes right here and goes down. See the orientation of this, where it exits into your line that goes into your system, it needs to be pointed down. Or just look at the instructions on your bottle. They're all pretty much positioned like this, to my knowledge. And if that tube is positioned this way or that way, the dip tube is going to be up here. And when your nitrous gets down to a certain point, you're not going to be pulling nitrous through your system. You're going to be pulling air, and your fuel mixture is going to be really rich because there's no nitrous to burn to even out the mixture, and that can cause catastrophic problems and that's something you definitely want to avoid. So getting your nitrous bottle in the correct angle with the dip tube in the correct position is very important. All right, so I pulled the line off that goes to the plate, and since I've never run nitrous through this system yet, haven't even checked it for leaks, what I'm going to do is turn on the bottle inside. Now I'm going to stay out here. I'm going to make sure the solenoid is not leaking, things are getting through. I'm going to purge it one time to make sure that's coming out, and that when it closes, that it actually shuts and it's not continuing to leak any nitrous out the system, because that's how backfires happen when it's leaking in there like that, and you go in to hit it and it's really lean, it pops, and then your whole carburetor intake flies up. So I'm going to do that first, and also make sure nothing gets in here. I've cleaned these lines out, I've been very careful, so as I'm doing all this, I need to ensure that nothing gets in that. So I got a serious leak right here. I got to take care of that first. Yeah, right here. Let's try it again. I'm now going to hit the switch. Let me move this right here so I don't blow anything in there. Actually, let me cover that up real quick. Cover it up so I don't get no corona in there and mess up my tune. There we go. All right, so it should come out pretty violently right here. And one more time to check it. Just hold my finger over for a second. See it builds up any pressure. If I remove it, it should go tss. And it doesn't. I think we're good. All right, so we're back inside, obviously. I'm gonna look at my pressure real quick. And we are right around 950 where we want this to be. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna leave this open for a second. Let's go ahead and check our purge, make sure it's okay. Which it is. I'm also gonna watch the bottle pressure. You see how it came down just a little bit? I'm gonna hit it for a second. All right. So it looks like the bottle might need to be a little bit warmer. It could either be that, because you notice how it went down a whole bunch when we purged it. We do it one more time. See, it went down again, and it's open all the way. So what that means is when your bottle is super full, there's no gas in here to push the liquid down into your dip tube out this way. So you really need to have a little bit in here. That's why you'll see guys, at the line, purging, making sure their pressure is just right. They're not getting dropped. That's what those guys are probably doing at those situations. That'd be my best guess. But some of those big time nitrous guys, they know exactly what the field needs to be to get them just right. So I guess right now, everything looks pretty good. I'm going to get the bottle heater. It is pretty warm outside, but I'm going to get the bottle heater real quick, get it a little bit warmer to make sure I'm not getting a whole bunch of drop in here. I am only running 100 shot today. And I know someone's going to say something about this. I do not have a down tube on this. That's next on the list. Today I'm not going to be reading plugs. I'm just going to be going over, checking the wideband, making sure it's in the ballpark, that everything is working good. And then my next video after this, I'm going to be reading the plugs to make sure I'm not getting any lean cylinders and everything looks happy up there. All right, so I got the bottle heater on here. I'll let the bottle get a little warm here. It does feel slightly cold now that I'm filling it. So I'll let it get a little bit warmer, and then we're going to try purging it again and see if we can't get that pressure to even out right around 950 to 925 psi without it dropping off real fast, because that's very important. There's two ways you can really screw up your tune. You can either have really low bottle pressure and your motor goes real rich and you hurt something, or you can have too high bottle pressure and your motor goes really lean. Just screwing up the tune like that with the bottle pressure is super, super easy, and I'm going to guess that's probably the #1 way that people hurt their motor on nitrous, because they're really not monitoring their bottle pressure or temperature. All right, so I'm going to crack the bottle open. It says we're pretty high. Let's purge it and see what happens. I'm a little higher than I want to be. Let's go ahead and purge it. Try Try to put the camera, you guys can see it. All right, see how I start to level out? Now we're good. All right, so I pulled timing from my box. So I'm gonna pull 4 degrees out for this 100 shot, just to be safe. That should be plenty. And I'm gonna go make it hit. Let's do this. All right, so I got 2 pulls here for us to talk about and discuss. This first one I think I'm going around 50 miles an hour, I think. I'm gonna go ahead and just hit the gas, turn on the kit, and you can see the stall converter really stalls up to around 6,500 when you first hit it in second gear. And the air fuel was right around 11.0, a little too rich, but not horrible, but definitely not as, you know, lean as I want it to be. Let's watch it a little bit closer. You can watch the air fuel. I'm gonna hit it, stab at it, and it's gonna pop down right around 11.0. I'd like that to be more around 11.8 and fluctuate maybe like, you know, to 12.0. That'd probably be a little better. So in this next run, I wanted to see how I can really load up the converter. So I started at a lot lower RPM. And then when I hit it, you can see that it really loads up pretty good. And it'll flash right there at 6,500. Then when it reaches, you know, the gear, it'll start pulling through. But it does, when it shifts in the third, it does fall back beyond 6,500. So I'll watch this a little bit closer here. You can get a better look here at the zoom in. I'm going to stab at it right here, hit the kit. It's going to flash at 6,500, go to 7s, it's going to drop down, but it immediately starts to pull in third gear, which is what we want. But yeah, not too bad. Got to do some more tuning, but we're getting somewhere. Well, that's pretty much it for this video right now. And the tune-up definitely does need to be refined. But my purpose for this was just to make sure everything was working right and that the wideband wasn't in too stupid of an area that I was going to hurt something. But I do think that I need to go up on the nitrous side. I'm not going to go, you know, a little leaner on the fuel. I'm going to go up on the nitrous side for this next video. We're going to put brand new plugs in there, and then we're going to make some test hits, and then we're going to pull the plugs on every single cylinder, and we're going to see if we have any lean spots in the tune-up. And really, for nitrous, you really have to do that. You can't just go by the wideband, because sometimes it can get you in trouble. But until next time, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and that like button. Keep wrenching, and peace.